Alrighty, heater is on, burning up the last of the propane. This should be the last cold morning we got. I gotta warm it up in here before we continue with the shutdown cleanup, which is almost done. Last video I did like this, I did not realize, y'all didn't tell me how nasty that door was. I just never paid it much attention. I don't think it had ever been painted when I put it up there years back. I looked at that video back and I said, that is nasty. So I brought out the white paint, and because that's the color I got the most of, I need a bright color in here anyway. Cleaned it off good and painted it. Looks a lot better, don't it? Clean shop is a happy shop. Now let's do our year-end review. Stay tuned, and we're going to sit in the chair. Well, good morning, everybody. Talking from the shop this week, we're going to do our year-end review. This is the 28th day of December, and thank goodness it's finally just about over. Not that next year is looking any better in the world view from what I can tell. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. We had a great Christmas around here. Happy kids, happy grandkids, happy mama. That always helps. Just had a great time. Now let's start off the year in review with talking about the shop. Every year for the last 2 years, and we all know what's went on in the last couple of years, so I'm not going to rehash that and tell everybody what happened, because we all know what happened. And it's not, excuse me a minute, let me get just a little bit closer. It's not just here. A lot of people have had a rough time the last couple, actually the last 3 years. Let's see, the first year Uncle Donald was in office was one of the best years I had in the shop financial wise. And years before that, I did okay. I made money every year. End of the year, I had money left. Not a lot, but I had it left, and we were able to, me and Mom was able to take little trips here and there to visit people and do things. Basically do what we wanted to. Well, here comes the big bang. Chop suey disease, if you want to call it that. That's what I call it. Actually, I have no idea what chop suey is, because I don't eat that stuff. But the year before last, see, broke even, barely broke even. Last year, barely broke even. This year, I'm in the hole. Absolute worst year I've ever had. I sold a lot of stuff, made a lot of knives, but everything that you have to do this hobby or trade, whatever you want to call it. Supplies up, price wise, going up. The biggest thing that hurt me this year was when the power company took over here, and I've talked about that in other videos. Doubled, in some cases tripled electricity rates. That really hurt, because you got to have power, to do anything. Tried to cut down, tried to go part of last year with no air conditioner when it tore up. Couldn't do it. I had an air conditioner donated to the shop. Thank you very much. Now, I'm not going to call names on people that helped me and all, because there's so many people that helped me out this year that I'll forget somebody, and I don't want to do that. So, y'all know who you are. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't owe any individual money for this year for what I'm lacked in the shop. I owe our house budget, actually, which is about that big anyway. So it's been rough. I hadn't been able to get out on the water like I want to. I hadn't been able to go anywhere like I really want to. Of course, we know we had the gasoline ridiculous prices go on this year. Food prices, even though it's just me and Mama, we still got to eat. You know, prices are just, and like I'm saying, it's not just us, everybody. I see some knife makers that I actually know do their videos. Oh, business is good. I'm selling this. I'm selling that. If you are, good for you. But I also know knife makers that'll be honest with you and say it's rough. And as far as what I can do in the shop, knife making is just about it for any kind of income. I would hope the channel would get big enough to get a little bit off of that, but that still hasn't happened. But maybe it will one day, I don't know. Giving up and quitting is not in my vocabulary. Right? And I'm not living on the streets like a lot of people are. I'm not belly aching and complaining at all. Just saying it was a rough year. And it's about over with. All we can do is hope this coming year will be better. Like I said, I'm going to do some things on the social media thing. I'm still working on that. I think Ricky Jr.'s coming over tomorrow and sit down with me we're going to redo the website. Excuse me. And let's see. I'm going to give the Instagram thing a try. We're going to get that set up on my phone. If my phone will do it. I got a cheapo, but it should do it. Technology, folks, I struggle with it. I really, really do. Because my generation, we didn't have computers growing up. There was no such thing, you know. But not for everyday, people. Like now, the kids, they don't remember anything but computers. My grandkids are whizzing it. Even the little one can figure out a lot of stuff on it. But, excuse me. And some people in my generation, my age group, get it just like that. Figure it out. And some of us that the only thing electronic we ever ran was a remote control when we finally got one of those. Well, we had the old, when I was growing up, I was the remote. Me and Stump was talking about this yesterday. At night, you're sitting there and my dad said, Ricky, get up and change the channel. So I had to stand there and change the channel. We only had 3 channels until found whatever he wanted to watch. And back then we had the old aerial antenna outside. If it wasn't clear, then I'd have to walk around the house, make sure the window's open so I could hear him, and turn the antenna until it got clear. Y'all ever have to do that? I know some of you have. But then the technology thing just took off. And while everybody was learning how to do that, a lot of us was out side the road working or somewhere working. Didn't have time for all that, which is my case. And once I finally got to where I could try to learn how to do it, it had got so far advanced that I just couldn't understand it. Still can't understand a lot of it, but oh well, that's that. Now see, continuing with last year, we lost a couple of family members, which was really sad. And I've talked about that, I think. I lost a few friends. Nobody I'd met personally, but people I considered my YouTube friends, my YouTube family, that's what I call it. Lost a couple of those. Passed away. I had to part ways with a few people this year, friends, that I do personally know. And I won't get into it. Names or anything, but I cannot abide by a phony. I can't abide by people that think they're better than me. And I'm disappointed that people have absolutely no sense of humor whatsoever. And on the first two, I don't like men that hide behind their wife's skirt tails. I wasn't raised that way. A man's a man. You got a problem? Let's talk about it. We can talk. We can fight. We can do whatever you want to do. But anyway, those people are out of my life. And I hate it, but that's okay. You know what I mean? Things happen. People come into your life for a reason, and people leave your life for a reason, in my opinion. That's the way I see it. Made a few good, new good friends this year. People I met through the channel. My buddy Stomper, good guy. We talk on the phone now and again, text back and forth now and again. We're gonna have some more knife dealings going on with him here soon, I think. Let's see, who's another good buddy I made this year? Josh up in Alaska, little Alaska home place. Really, really impressed with that young man. I really am. We talk on the phone now and again, and text back and forth. I watch all his videos. Let's see. And there's more. Like I said, I don't want to keep calling names because I'll forget somebody. If I forgot you, I'm sorry. And a lot of y'all I've known for several years now. People that come by and when they're in town or whatever. And y'all are all still welcome as you can be. And one guy, the first time he came here, looked around the shop, looked around outside. That's back when I had the old Wallace 4 that I was working on. He said, well, everything's just like it is on your channel. And I said, that's right. I am who I am. I don't pretend to be anybody else. And I think we all know people are like that, but not here. You come to visit me, you'll sit in the dusty old shop with me, you know, we'll walk around the property, whatever. But and negative people, I had to get rid of a couple of negatives out of my life. But anyway, that's mostly the bad stuff that happened last year. Good things. The family is all happy, healthy. All the kids are employed, doing very well. We got another grandchild on the way. I think he or she will be here in March, I think. I don't know. March or April, somewhere in there. That'll make number 6. All right, I was given a very, very generous gift this year with the new tracker, with the boat. That was a good thing. I did have to do a little work on it, which is understandable because it had set up so long, but it wasn't that bad. Money-wise, it wasn't too bad. Less than $500, put it that way, for everything I've done to it. Well, that was a good thing. Nobody was seriously ill this year. Well, me and Mama had the chop suey flu. We had that, and we was down for a few weeks. But to me, it was no more, unless we had a mild case, it was no more than just a regular flu bug that most people get every other year or so. See, I got fairly good doctor's reports this year. We got 2 appointments in January. One in January, one in February. January, I got to go back to the dentist and get something done with this tooth because what they gave me last time is not helping it at all. And they said there's no decay, no cavity, no nothing. So if this didn't work, the dentist said that she thought the tooth was actually cracked, which I had one do that once before years ago. And if that's the case, it's going to have to come out. And then I may have to figure out a way to get some a partial or something, because I've already lost a bunch on the bottom. Tops are all fine. But so that'll be an ongoing thing next year, trying to get me some TVs. Now, let's see, what else? No major storms hit us. That was a good thing. Until the great Arctic freeze. telling you, y'all people up north need to keep your weather at home. I'm telling you. It's happened. We've had cold like this before. This is the 4th or 5th day of it. We've had it before. But we've had 3 or 4 very mild winters. I don't think we even had a freeze last year. But, and it does happen. It's not all that uncommon. People that lived here 4 or 5 years will tell you all about the weather here. And they have no idea, you know, of how it has been in the past. But anyway, I'm gonna, even though it's been a horrible year, financially wise, I'm not depressed, not even disappointed. I'm just gonna keep working and keep making stuff and keep trying to get it out there. I plan, just like every year, I plan on getting on the water more. And this is going to be the first full year that I've got a proper boat that all I got to do is hit the key and it runs. You ain't got to worry about the trailer. Ain't got to worry about tires. I don't have to worry about anything. So, except putting fuel in the thing and fuel in the truck. There's always something, you know. Because it doesn't matter how close you live to the water. You know, it costs money to fish. Bait, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, gas. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. I think I'm going to head out next week, one day at least one day, when it warms up. And I have come to the decision that the days of getting up when it's 20 degrees and going crappie fishing, I can't do that no more. That's enough. That's enough. I'm not going to say too old. I'm getting too soft for that. But unless there's something really good going on somewhere. But it's time to sheephead fish right now. It's time to trout fish and bluegill fish. Bluegill bite year round, which is one of my favorite ways to fish anyway. But I'll try to do some of all of that within the next couple of weeks. So I guess that'll about do it. And I will go ahead and say too, the shop is open. Now, I took a few days off to get, and I didn't do the major moving around and all that I was going to do. It's going to take too long, and I don't have materials and all to do exactly what I wanted to do, so it's fine just like it is. I just cleaned really good. I bet I got a big black garbage bag full of sawdust off the floors out of here. Cleaned off all the tools. Everything's working properly. Didn't have no major repairs on anything. The biggest project left in here is these boards you see laying here. The peak of this part of the shop where the insulation goes up, it keeps coming apart at the top. The wind blows it down, even though there is insulation under that. I'm going to put just sort of like a ridge cap on the inside, which will be these scrap boards here. I just went ahead and painted them white while I had to paint out doing the door. Do that today. And under my workbench there is, I don't know what all's under there. There's a lot of dust under there, a lot of junk. I'm going to go through that today and see what's there I'm going to keep, see what I'm going to throw out. And the inside of the shop will be ready to work. And then I'll move tomorrow, the next day, when it's supposed to be in the 70s. Supposed to get up, which we can deal with 70s. Being thin-blooded Florida people. So I'm going to get outside. My little work area out here is nothing really needs, all I need to do is straighten stuff up, move stuff around, you know, that type of thing. So I don't trip over junk out there. But glory be, there comes the sun out. What do they say? When the sun's shining, it's going to be a good day, Tater. It is a little late in the morning for me. It's after 8 o'clock already. So anyway, Year-end review, that's it. Let's all hope that next year will be better. Let's hope we all get to do more of what we want to do. Let's see what else. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all that watches. New viewers, y'all go back through the videos if you'd like to, and maybe you'll enjoy some of those. Some of them I'll go off and sound like I'm a little bit ranting and raving, or maybe I am, but and that's not everything that happened around here this year. Before I go, I'll just say this too. Most YouTubers, most, not all of them, most are not going to tell you everything that happens on their homestead, their place, their life. And you know, y'all don't know half of what goes on around here. But there's nothing bad goes on around here. If I get which is very rare, if I go anywhere and get mad at somebody or at like a store employee or something like that, I'm not going to come make a video about it. Or if somebody cuts me off, somebody damn near runs me off the road, you know, that kind of stuff, that's everyday life. That kind of stuff happens to everybody. And unless it's something real exciting, you know, I don't see the need to run home and make a video about it. But that's just me. There are a couple of channels I like to watch them when they get really worked up and yelling and screaming, jumping up and down. But comical. But anyway, what was I saying? I appreciate all of y'all. I really do. And I love y'all to death. Most of you. See, I try to be funny sometimes. But who knows? Maybe this year will be better. Maybe I can get around some and be able to come see some of y'all. Pardon me. But anyway, when I get this last couple of little things done, I'll give a little short clip of what the shop looks like now compared to what it did a couple days ago. Basically the same except clean. So remember what I said, clean shop is a happy shop. Now, thank y'all once again very much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Thank everybody for the help this year. Shop is open. If you'd like to order something, send me an email. Let me know what you want. If we need to talk about it, we will. We'll text about it. Or if you need to talk on the phone, we'll talk on the phone. We'll do whatever you want to do. So thank y'all. And one more clip coming up. And I'll see y'all probably, maybe again this year. I'm not sure, but we'll see. If not, see you next year. I've been decorating a little bit. Be quiet, birds. That's an old steering wheel Cousin Jay gave me. Actually came off of the boat that one of the motors I got. Pretty cool, huh? Stuck it on the door and hung up the birdhouse that Big Brother Larry gave me. This looks pretty cool, don't it? Every time I go on the door, I'll think about him. So, and there'll be some birds in there probably. And this old one here, little brother Kevin gave me that one a long time ago that he made. I don't know if there's any in there now, but there's birds in that one every year. When you walk out here, sometimes they'll fly straight out and scare the you-know-what out of you. But now this spring, all it's got to come down. This spring, the shop will get painted. Last time I painted it was, I think, 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago. So it's time. Everything will come down. Everything get painted. After it's painted, I got more stuff to put up there for decoration. So there we go. Now let's take a look on what look at what I've done inside, and that'll be it. All right, let's take a look. There is the ridge cap, we'll call it, put up, and man, what a difference that makes. There were some really big gaps and holes up there, and it got cold again, so I turned the heat back on and it warmed up very, very quickly. There is still a few larger gaps in there, which I'll fill up with some caulking. I thought I had some caulking, but I can't find it. I can't even find my caulking gun. That tells me somebody must have borrowed it, which is fine. I'll figure out where it's at. Let's see, reinstalled the fan filter. Got a new filter. That thing helps out a lot as far as the dust in here. Dust has always been a problem, always will be, I guess, but anyway, all the equipment is cleaned off, sort of dust free for right now, and that's been running a couple hours. I can already see a film of dust on there, so I'll leave that on overnight pretty much all the time. And when I can, I'll get me another box fan, another filter, and build another one for down this way, blowing the opposite way. So there we go. One more spot I hadn't cleaned up. I like all my little pieces of metal right there in case I need it. Now turn the table saw this way at an angle so I can get a longer board through there if I need to. I ran into that problem a few days back, so all this equipment dusted off, cleaned off. Now all these are on wheels, so I can move them in and out as I need to. My radio alarm, I've still not put it back together, but I will. I thought about getting rid of it, but that is my favorite tool of all time, even though I don't use it much, but I still like it. So I'm thinking seriously about for the winter time, because we got some winter still coming. It's not over with yet. I'm sort of scared of wood stoves, wood heaters. I've never had one, but I think one right here, that air conditioner don't work anymore, so it's got to go. But I can put the stovepipe out through there, and I may do that. I may, if I can get to where I can get one. We'll see. I don't want a great big one, just one, you know, mediocre size, just enough to keep from paying 20 bucks a bottle for propane, if you know what I mean. Anyway, buffing table's cleaned off. I've still got the new buffing pads to put on here, but I'll do that probably tomorrow. These will be okay for now. So there we go. That's good enough. Everything's cleaned up, floor swept. If I didn't mention underneath the workbench, I'll do that another day. I don't feel like doing it today. So there we go. Shop is open, ready to go. I'll do the outside stuff as I can, a little bit along. And thank y'all very much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Somebody buy some knives so I can get me some caulking and get me another fan filter and all that kind of stuff. And I thank y'all. Thank you for your support. And hope the video wasn't too long, but I'll see y'all next time. Happy New Year.